What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Twister, and I'm so happy to see you. Especially, I'm happy to see people who came from Igor Geek Academy. Thank you so much for recommending. If you gave me a chance, thank you so much. Just for those who doesn't know, I was born in Ukraine, but last 21 years living in Idaho, USA. I have film school degree, and I love talking about the movies and TV shows. This channel I have channel in Russian language. I started like 8 years ago. It's not super popular, about 28,000 people, but I was able to create the platform where people can come in if they watch a show, but no one around them do not watch it, but they want to talk about it. It's not enough for them just watch like 10 minutes breakdown or just cutouts from the episode, or like, oh, you might miss this Easter egg or something. No, I want to make a place where people wants to get like a deep critique on the characters, what was behind, what's the storytelling tools was using by like showrunners or directors, cinematographers, director of photography. If there is a good script, what the message they trying to say, maybe there is some kind of meaning behind it, and just sit down and talk about that. Back in the film school when I was getting my degree, one of my most favorite classes, it was a movie critique, film critique class, where all of us would watch a movie and we would get together for 2 hours, and the students would just discuss the movie, what they got it, what they like it, what they didn't like it. And that's what exactly I'm trying to do on this channel. If that's something what you like, and again, this is in the format almost like a stream or podcast. If that's something you enjoy, I'm so happy to see you, and I will be even more happy to see your comments so we can continue this conversation rolling in the comments. So the last episode, episode 8, of course, it's such a tease. Before, when we had like TV channels, like regular channels that would run TV shows, they would have like their season would be 20, 24 episodes. And there was a cable TV. They would show about 10 episodes per season. HBO, probably around the Game of Thrones, they start like cutting down, investing. If they have the money, they would make less episodes, but they would use the same budget of money, but use it for less episodes, but make them more visual, more uh, bigger on like set decorations, on again visual effects. If you're talking about the Game of Thrones, of course, there is the dragons and all that stuff. But later we start seeing this tendency go more and more, especially with HBO. They cutting down from 10 episode seasons to the 8 episode seasons. And again, until this moment, I didn't hear anything about if it's going to be second season or if this is just like a mini series show. Maybe this is limited episode creation. That's it. 8 episodes and we're not gonna get anything else. I was so skeptical in the beginning when I just heard they making it, because maybe I was burned out on Marvel products from Disney Plus, and I thought like, oh, it's going to be another show, so I'm not sure if I'm going to like it or not. But I loved it. I loved it, and that brought so much hope for me. We had so many projects, so many products lately where they would get the book, game, comic story, and they would do equalization, and fans would get hurt because it would be not so close to the source, because the stuff what they fall in love with original material, it would be changed. Like me personally, I do love Witcher, the game, books. I read most of them, and I do love the TV show with the Henry Cavill. But I understand the pain that fans getting when something goes wrong, when the showrunners thinks they are smarter than the original source and they can change something. Same things with the Lord of the Rings, same things with the Wheel of Time. when showrunners changing stuff, maybe sometimes it's for the best, maybe sometimes it gave the new taste of the story, but in a lot of times fans get really hurt because something what they value, it's manipulated, twisted, and became like almost Frankenstein monster, where you kind of see it, it looks like a human, but it puts so many unneeded items that it became a monster. But with the penguin, they did it so good. I did felt I am in a Gotham, even though if they would remove it and change the name of the city, for example, to Chicago or New York, I would still love that TV show, even if they would remove completely from the that connection to DC universe. I would still love that show because it had the strong characters, it had the strong writing, and the whole story they tell. And from the episode one, it was came to the great conclusion in the end. In so many cases, the finale would flop. Penguin, this finale didn't flop. I loved it. I gave 10. Me personally, when they showed the really last shot, I was screaming. I was screaming like a child because it was so good. That whole show, they kept name Batman out of it. There was not a single mention about the Batman. Even when they was like moving the drugs in the subway system, they didn't say like, "Oh, we need to stay in the subway so the Batman didn't find us." No, that was the whole fight between Falcon families, Maroni's family. That was what we were seeing. But they didn't talk about Batman at all. And when in the end, really last shot, when we see the symbol of Batman shining in the sky, it's kind of like, oh, yes, we are in that universe. We are in the Gotham. We are knowing that Penguin maybe rose to the power, but there is still someone who can stay on his way. And that was done so beautiful. I had the chills. I had like, you know how Spider-Man, he has the spider uh, senses when he knows that something is coming. It's same thing. All my hair rose up. I had the goosebumps. I was screaming. I loved, absolutely loved how they was able to finish the story. And if we had any illusion that Oz might be a good character, even we know the Penguin, he is evil. We know the Oz, he is evil. But we needed to see that, and showrunners did that. They show his tender side through the characters he loved, and we thought like, okay, maybe he's not completely lost case, but through the show we saw that transformation, we saw that change, and we saw what he did to cut off all of the ends that would attach him to the human side. He killed his own heart. He killed his own soul. It was done so good. It was sad, yes. Did I felt bad for Victor? Absolutely. But that was necessary for the show. I would not believe it if Oswald told him like, okay, buddy, because I love you, here is the money, get on this bus and go to your girlfriend, be with her, be happy, live perfect life. I wouldn't buy that. I wouldn't believe in that kind of story. But what they did, it was absolutely perfect. So the title, A Great Little Things, if you're watching on a actual HBO, and I recommend when you finish watching it, shows on HBO, do not close it down. Stay a little bit longer because after credits, most of the time they would show oh, Idaho, 6th Idaho Motion Picture Company. I didn't know that. Cool. They put like showrunners. They talking about like what they did, what plan, what the motivation behind one thing or another. I would really recommend you to watch this video. You know, maybe that's I'm just crazy person. When I would love some kind of movie, I watched in the movie theater, I would go and buy Blu-ray only for the purpose so I can get to those bonus materials. So I can watch how the movie was done, how was what actors thinking about the role they playing, and in a lot of times you just like when you hear what actor saying about his role, what he was doing about his character, you're like, okay, you did understand what kind of message you needed to convey, but why you didn't convey that message? Why I didn't felt that what you talking to me about it? Like, do not tell me, show me in a movie, in your role, in your character. And sometimes it just, but most of the time I'm just like how the decorations done, how the costumes done, how it was born, and just see how many people get together with love of the art and they put their skills together and what it comes through. Love it, absolutely love it. So yeah, this episode is named Great Little Things. It's based on a Oscar Wilde poem. Creator, showrunner was telling about it when she wrote, when she read that poem. She said it's like I felt it so much, have connections to the Oz, and that's the line which she used, like, and was wondering if the man had done a great or little things. Uh, and the story is about how every man kills stuff what they love. Some kill it when they're young, some kill when they're older, sometimes you can kill it with the lust, sometimes with the ignorance or with the knife. It's a good poem, and I can kind of see. I wouldn't ever read it. Of course, I know about the Oscar Wilde, but I would never read that ballad if not the TV show. But it motivated me, and it's good message that really fitting the character of Oz. It just make that another level. You know how there is a 3D puzzles, and Oz, he's definitely not a flat character. He definitely is 3D character. And if you would read that poem, it just would open up new kind of point of view. So I really enjoy when TV show doing good flashbacks, because in a lot of times flashbacks would suck. Casting would suck, or like you doesn't understand like why you even put that, or you doesn't have a skill to include that message in dialogues. That's why you need to do the flashbacks. But there is a places where flashbacks done really well, and you just thinking, wow. And that's really interesting approach to it. Like with her, we know that she going into the memory lane through that special tool that doctor using, those shining red lights. And we know she's sitting in his office, but she's transforming back to those days when she could not get out of the bed. And that's what we see when she comes to the mirror and see herself in the mirror. She see herself young, but we know her at this stage. And I think that was done absolutely beautiful. And we know it. We see it. She knows that he stays behind of what's happened to her sons. And that's why she do not have motivation get out of the bed. And Rex talking to her, and he said like, okay, you have two paths right now. Or you forgive and forget. Which is, she's like, he's devil. He's devil in my house. How can I do that? And he said like, or he can just disappear. He can be gone. You can just let him go. And she, as a mother, she lost two kids, but she's willing to get rid the third one. Again, they didn't tell if he's the father of those kids, but for sure she's not just cooking books for him. He's more likely have some kind of relationship with her. But when she telling the Oz, you are like your father, I don't think she's meaning him, because the reaction of the Oz is like, no, I'm not like him. In the same time, he's adoring Rex. He's like a icon for him through the whole time. Really important stuff what he is telling here. We need to take it and place it on the top of relationship that Oz and Victor had. Because he's telling people who come works for me in my kind of business, they can get loyalty to the money, which is okay, but it's not the best. But you can be a father figure for them that they desperately need. And Rex saying like, I cannot be father figure for your son. I cannot be that for us, because he doesn't need father. All what he need you. He adores you. He fixated on you to help you. So if you want correct him using that his addiction to you, that's the way how you can manipulate him. And that's what we see. She is always keep this devil under her control, only when she find out those leverage that she can use. And again, when we watching the whole show, we cannot understand like who is the really bad person here, his mother or us. Did his mother made him into the monster, or he was monster in the beginning, and later through the all of the flashbacks we see he was wrong, dark-hearted person from the beginning. But in that dark soul, for some reason, he had that addiction to please his mother, to make her happy. And Rex saying, I can use that. If you will send him that direction, I can use him. Or he can disappear. And that's exactly what we see with the Victor. Victor needed the father figure. He needed father figure so badly. He was even partly was disappointed with his own father, because when you have the opportunities, when you can make more money, when you can do this, why wouldn't you grab that opportunity and go with that? And he was upset with his biological father about it. And that's why when Oz appeared in his life and he gave him chance, he's thinking, okay, that's the father figure who I want to follow. And that's all his loyalty came from, which eventually killed him. Poor Victor. But this is scary moment when we heard about that going to the dances, going to this club. We heard this story when Oz telling to us that's something symbolic for him. He was telling like, my mom was so broken up, but then one day she like, we going out and we gonna dance. And we saw the flashback in previous episode to exactly same place where she's telling like, promise me that you going to protect me, support me, because otherwise I'm not gonna make it. And last week episode, it was more like we saw that scene, this story, through the Oz perspective. This week we saw through the mother's perspective. And both of them, they had the lie they carried through the whole life. Like mother was holding that on, that she knew he's a monster. She knew that he's a monster. And she actually wanted to kill him this day. She's willing to send him home with the Rex and he would disappear. But that conversation, what made her change mind. And Was that a regret later? Did she ever regret over those many, many years? She decided to spare his life, and now she in a vegetable stage, crying, but being in a place what she wanted. He gave her what she wanted. Penthouse with a view on a whole city. He gave that to her. This is, remind me like stories uh, about wicked wish. When you go to the devil, he's saying like, okay, I can give you this, or genie, yes, I can grant your wish, but in the end, it's bite your butt. It's somehow some twisted way. It comes really negative, and more destruction than benefits coming from it. And that's even the saying like, be afraid of what you wishing for. Seeing the title maybe for the last time, who knows for how long, it was emotional moment. And the transitions, I always love how they have the title and then you can see the picture creeping up through the letters. And we see that Victor did collect the forces. He brought the army. He brought them in, all of them. But it was too late. And they was just like, okay, we came here for the drug. We do not care about the Oz. We're going to leave. And for Victor, this is so personal. And he talking and he motivating. And Link saved his life at that moment. Just punching him in the gut. He saying like, what you saying might be a right stuff, but that might cause you a bullet. You can die from it. And you kind of see that Victor is so full of that idea, and he do not have any darkness in him. Like that reminds me partially about like crusaders, right? The army that would carry the banner, the paladins. We are doing something great for the light, for the good of the people. If we need to kill on our way some heretics, if we need to kill witches, if we need to kill whatever, but we doing the great things. And for them, in their head, in their mind, they doing something good. For Victor, he's like, who cares that we doing the drug? Who cares that we creating the bliss that can make people addicted? We giving them hope. We giving them job. We bring the prosperity to this. We bring the unification for the people. And of course, this is maybe because he's so young, and even if he does some dark things, his heart is still white and pure. Because everything what he's doing from the good motivations. And serving Penguin, he's thinking he's doing the right thing, which is really, really sad. And that's not how the world works. And that's another reason why ending of Victor, it's dramatic, but it was necessary to end it exactly the same way, exactly that way they did in the show. Beautiful scene over here. Seeing Sophia at this dress, it's kind of in French cinematography there is a femme fatale. Too much know the term, and she just made the character like that, with that little splash of red, something French in it, and that kind of reminds me, like, I don't know if you play in the World of Warcraft or not. There is a night elf female dances, really famous, based on this singer, real popular song in French, and Alice, her name. I don't want to butcher it, but still, that dress kind of reminded me that singer, and here that red scarf coming from her chest, from her heart, almost strangling her and waving behind. This is so beautiful, so symbolic. We just need to understand, like, when TV show made, when certain scenes happening, there is a costume decorators who working on a concept, how exactly what's going to be best. And if you're looking at the wardrobe, what Sophia has through the whole this season, it's amazing and it deliver message every time. Both like if we like when she walking in a yellow dress through the whole house when she guessed everyone in the house when she put the gas and everyone died, and she was walking at that screaming yellow happy color. We saw her in a red dresses when she would speak in a room full of like bleak ladies, the pastel colors, and she would be a red, the symbol staying in the middle, screaming, maybe not out of her lungs, but with her outfit. Every time, every costume. Again, I love, love, love Westeros world. That's House of Dragon, great TV show. But when the Golden Globe going to happen, when the aim is going to happen, this year I'm going to be rooting for the Penguin because the costumes was great, the script was great, acting was amazing. I wish they will at least nominate the actress who played Sophia, Colin Farrell, and actress who played Mom. Hopefully, Victor. I will be so happy. If at least one of them will be nominated, I will be happy. But if all four of them will be nominated, I will be so, so pleased. Waiting. Golden Globe nominations going to be really soon, like in a month or so. It's going to be a while before next season of Emmy, but I mean the season started, but awards happening in September, so it's still far. But Golden Globes, the first Sunday of January. All this scene was really strong, and all her motivation, what she's saying, like tell your mother true, is like make your heart clear. Just lay everything. Just don't hold it. Tell her because I would love my father apologize to me. I would love my father tell that he was wrong before he died. And all the scenes, seeing the mother, she's saying, tell her before they cut my finger off. It's like, tell her because I already know and I hate you. And all this mother just finally able to just go against. Oh, probably need to switch that. And stabbing Oz. That's probably what she was wanted to do for such a long time. And that pushed her across that final line. When she saw her boys and that wet clothes look like zombies, drawn people, and she stayed and she got that final stroke that put her to the vegetable stage. This scene is perfect. Even the story with Mama Bird and Little Bird, it was worked so good. And how the tablestone, we saw Sophia being in power almost, torturing both of them, Oz and his mother, and how the table turns in the moment when mother fall with the stroke. Oz rose, and he kind of like, if you watched Notre Dame, about Quasimodo, I kind of had that same feeling when he just grabbed his mother and just ran away. Even stopped, even hurt, he still wired to the same thing, to watch after his mom, gave her whatever she desires, and he couldn't leave her there. So he's living like with her over the shoulder, same way, kind of like Quasimodo with the Esmeralda, or even King Kong with whatever the girl he was getting, and taking her to the hospital. And he doesn't care much about his own wound. He in the hospital, he can say like, okay, I'm stopped, can someone stitch it up? But he knows they're gonna keep him in the hospital, stitches, maybe surgeries. He didn't have time for all of that. So he just stitched himself up, put some rub and alcohol, put the patch, and call it good. At that moment, I kind of believe that he knows he needs to make a move against Sophia. He needs to do something. And we can see that he's in pain. Interesting concept what they doing. They place Sophia against Oz in so many different ways. Sophia decides to leave, but before she decides to leave, in the episode Golden, what was that? Golden Summit, what Oz did, he tried to unite all of those small mafia clans together. Because we have Sophia, Falcone, whatever with her new last name, and we had Maroni, who was always controlling the Gotham City. And the rest was just like they controlling their little small parts of town. Penguin was able to unite them. And now Sophia, before leaving, she wants to divide them again. She's saying like, okay, all my business, house, everything can go just to one person, whoever going to bring me Penguin. Whoever going to bring him, going to get everything. And again, she burned the house. Probably that was the plan from the beginning. But all this, it's not just a house. It's not the four walls. She was giving away the power over the city, all the connections, all the labs or whatever they had, how the drugs coming in, going out. So she was willing to give away that. And not just her, she became an inheritance of Maroni Empire because they merged those empires together, Falcon Empire and Maroni. They merged it, and she became the inheritor of all of that. And she's willing to give away, but to one. This way, she wants to break them again. And that's not gonna happen. I didn't start making reviews in the English until the last week. But when I was making a review on my main channel in Russian language, I was noticed that moment during the Golden Summit when leaders was not so much agreeing with the Penguin, but all seconds their right hands, they have been hurt, they have been seen. And at that moment, I felt there is going to be like uprising, change in the power. They going to overtake. And again, it's not because, oh, look how smart I am. I have such a big head and I don't know how my neck is holding it. No, that's a great job of showrunners. When they lay down some of the clues, you know where is the story is coming, what is going to be happening. Like we talked last week, how the mother going to react. More likely, we're going to hear her screaming that I hate you, and that's going to break something inside of the us, and that's what we saw. And again, that's not because I'm Oracle or I can see the future. No, it's just because showrunners creating so well that audience can pick up that mood and kind of start feeling where the story going. And when the twist happening, they feel satisfied because like, okay, I kind of foreseen this happening. It's not like we have an expression royal в кустах, piano in the bushes, that suddenly just appear over there. But that was expected and I really like it. So the move us making, going to the courthouse, the place where the Senate sitting or House sitting, and talking to the level of the people. He like, okay, cool, you brought the electricity, and we can tell to the people in the crown point, we can tell everyone you're the good guy. And especially if you're going to catch the crazy chick, if you're going to catch her, and if you guys gonna go down, you will find the pieces of her car, and you're going to find the body of Sal Maroni. You know it. You can. He like, is that a true? And us saying like, it is true. If you find this, or at least the true, that you can sell it out and people gonna love you. You can be a best mayor that can be, you know. He saw the mayor with the injured hand, right? But he telling to the guy, you can be someone. You can do something so good that everyone will be praising you. How does that sound? So he always found the leverages on the people, how he can get under the skin and how can make them do what he wants. This scene also was perfect. This is like burning bridges, you know, they have that expression. Now every time when I'm going to hear that, I will remember this scene. 3 cigarettes, and she put all the father clothes, put all his expensive alcohol, all the booze there, dropped the cigar, set on fire, came to his office, set on fire, in the hallway, set on fire, and then leave. Seeing this house on fire, it just like, she's done. She's done with everything. And she definitely was willing to leave all behind and just go. She was sick of it. That's pretty much same what we saw in a Cat Woman. By the way, we have that cameo letter, you would say, in the end, because she's her half sister, and she also like, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I'm dropping the Gotham City. I'm done. I'm sitting on my bike and I'm out of it because I cannot handle this craziness anymore. And that same thing's what Sophia wanted to do. She wants to leave. But seeing that little smirk Penguin had, she understood. Her plan is failed. And we saw the uprising. We saw the change in the power. All the second men became the first men. They got invited by, united by ideas that Victor gave them, that Oz gave them. But again, thanks to Victor, he was the person who was able to be a glue that put stuff together. This scene was also beautiful. Seeing them driving again together in a car, but the good storytelling. I love repetition and I love mirroring when you have something happening in the beginning and have similar happening in the end. Maybe we didn't saw us driving Sophia in the first episode. That was happening in episode 4. But in their relationship, that's how they met, that's how they worked. He was in the beginning her driver, and she was that princess. She was protecting, she was kind to him in a way. Like when her brother would tease him and call him Penguin, she was like, don't call him that way. But in the same time, she always would put us to his spot. It's like, I'm here, someone, you're just driver. She could be kind, but in the same time, she always kept those checks going that you are not on my level. And now we see how table turn and the Penguin was in control. He put the child lock on the door so she couldn't escape. And in a way, I think Sophia she wasn't afraid. She wasn't afraid of him. saying the stuff straight to his face, like, is your mommy told you she loves you yet? All this scene, she's not scared of him shooting her. And she was prepared. And even seeing that scene when she turned and looked at the light and the way how they filmed this for the cinematography perspective, seeing this line of lights, it's almost like you expecting that's the trajectory of the bullet going to go through. You expect in this light that any moment going to happen, that splash, similar kind of like we saw when Victor was shooting in this episode. It was crazy moment when you kind of see through somebody's head. It was crazy. And this scene was so beautiful, and she is ready. She's definitely ready, and she has no regrets. And only thing she would willing, she hoped she could kill the penguin, but it didn't happen. He played her over, but she's not afraid to die because she saw something that was more scary than death, and penguin knew about that. That's why they sending her back to the prison, back to the Arkham, back over there where she was so miserable, where she barely was able to hold on. And the difference is now, if before we're gonna get back to the mother scene, if before she was innocent, but now she is crazy chick who exploded car in the middle of the town, and so many people got injured. So now the difference, she deserved to be here. She deserved to be here. And at least her doctor still watching after her, and he brought her a letter from Catwoman. And we see like how much bleak she was, how she crushed. She's back over here. But we doesn't know what exactly in this letter. But reading this letter brought the joy back to her, which is, I don't know, maybe if we're going to have second season, and maybe if we're going to have Sophia back, maybe we're going to have a Catwoman too. We'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen. Now let's go to this really sad scene with the penguin coming to the hospital and finding out that his mom in like vegetable stage, and he understands he cannot do anything. He was like, "Mom, I did it. If you want to die, okay, but before you die, you need to tell me that how proud are you of me, that I'm a good boy. Just tell me at least once." And that hate, that build up for her screaming at him, that kind of hurt his ego, whole his nature, where he just like, I'm working to get to the point where my mom will say I did good, because all what he heard from her is like, I didn't roast the like wussy boy. You supposed to be strong. You disappointment. What kind of boy cannot protect your mother? What kind of boy cannot watch after her mother? He was doing everything to get to this point, and now all what he wanted to see that praise from his mom, but she cannot give it, and she's not that, but she cannot give it, and he knows that. She hate that stage. She asked him, if I'm going to get to that vegetable stage, end me. But he can't. And we seen him crying, and Victor saw his moment of weakness, and he cannot let anyone knows his weakness. And Victor actually his weakness too. Even when the Victor telling him, you are like, I almost thought he going to say like, father to me, But he using the word family, which is maybe a little bit lower. Fast and Furious fans like family. So, and he knows, and Victor can be his weakness, and he cannot afford that. He just need to get rid of all of the weaknesses he has, and that's why there is no more Victor. Sad. And you see what he's doing. He's not using the gun. He didn't turn him and put the bullet in his back of his head how he was planning to do in the first episode when they met. He's doing this. He could hire someone to do that, but he needed to do this personal with that choke, with his hug, with his he's really strong man, unusually, unrealistically strong, and he's taken the life of Victor with his own hands in the same way, kind of like telling, I'm getting control on all of my weaknesses right now, and I'm getting rid of them. This is scary. If during the watching this season, if there was any thought for anyone he's a good character, he's not. He is not good person. He person with the black heart. And now even that black heart, I think he crushed it. But the getting rid of the Victor. That darkness now out, completely controlling him. Interesting to see him in that penguin look from the comics, with his top hat, placing it that on the hook, and he's in the penthouse, seeing the mom, and she's in the empty room. Probably they just moved in, not much has been done in decorating, or maybe he just planned to keep his mother room absolutely empty and just let her stare day after day, 24/7, just look at the city. You wanted penthouse with a view of Gotham. Here you go. You got it. And that way, that kind of level of cruelty, it's not what she wanted. We see in this moment he is not giving the mother what she would ask. He could leave her in a hospital. He would leave her in some place where the nurses would run and watch after. He'd bring her here in this empty place where she will be just staring at what she wished for. And that little tear on her cheek. That's the way how he cut that attachment. Decision to be cruel to her. And if I don't know if he knows she betrayed him, maybe somewhere inside on some level he does understand that she's the one who tell where he is, and he make her dress up like his mother, saying the words you want to hear from his mother. And she does. She does. That's what kind of relationship they have. Playing that music, wearing the dress like mother would wear, and telling like, you're a good boy. That whole city belongs to you, just to you, and no one can stand on your way. No one. And we see the sky, and that most wonderful moment when we see the symbol of the Batman. Not a single word Batman in the whole show. Just this, just seeing this symbol in the sky, that's what made like that beautiful cherry on the top of that beautiful dessert what we got. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, HBO. So if you just join into the channel and you curious like, okay, what is now? I just started digging it. I just like found something I can listen on the background when I'm cleaning, cooking, or running. What's now, Twister? So HBO on Sundays they always release some kind of cool TV shows. They done with the Penguin, but next week they starting with the Dune. It's going to be Dune 6 episodes. It's called Dune Prophecy. So I'm going to be doing exactly the same kind of style videos where we sitting down, just talking about different scenes, analyzing, talking about the actors, what worked good, what not, what kind of thought it's invoked in me, calling for conversation with you. I love science fiction. On my main channel, we did reviews on Foundation, on for all humankind. Pretty much anything science fiction. That's that's my weak spot. I love it. So I'm definitely going to be doing the reviews on the Dune. Hopefully, we're going to have audience for that as well. We still have 2 more weeks for the TV show From. After that, also we have Silo, great TV show from Apple Plus. If you didn't watch that one yet, first season already available, second season starting this week, so you have time to catch up. It's my personal recommendation. Rebecca Ferguson, I think Rebecca Ferguson or Jessica Ferguson. I always make a mistake. I think Rebecca Ferguson. She plays really good. That's kind of like, for me it was so interesting watching Silo, then go to the movie theater watch Dune where she's playing the mother. And so if you like the Dune, come back. If you like Silo, come back. And also we have 2 more episodes about the TV show From. And for today, that's it. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully I help you to spend some times with some kind of benefits for your entertainment. Bye bye.